Hi Virgo, this is Julie with Deep Soul Counsel, and as always, it is an honor and a privilege to be here to deliver your free tarot reading. This reading is a 12-card reading, and we're looking at 2017. So we're going to start with January of 2017 and move all the way to December of 2017. We're going to end the card with an oracle from my new deck, Keepers of the Light Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. It's actually become one of my favorite decks. The reading I did in the tarot that I've been using, the same deck that I've been using for the other readings, but then we'll end with a little oracle guidance, all right? Now, those of you who are new to the channel, thank you and welcome. I'm really excited that you're here, and I hope everybody likes the video and subscribes and shares, and I feel like I really go to a place where I can really resonate with everybody. I feel like, and I know people say that's impossible, but I really feel that when we attract something into our life, it's for a reason, right? But sometimes our programming doesn't allow us to perceive what the reason is, so we just kind of dismiss it, right? And so I feel like if you attracted this reading into your life, then there's probably something that you can learn from it. Call me old school. Also, before I start, I want to encourage everybody to go to my website, www.deepsoulcounsel.com. All my information is below. Social media, Facebook, I mean, it is just exploding. We're doing Deep Soul Daily Oracles over there and on Instagram. Also doing some extra stuff on Facebook. So make sure that you go to those sites, all right? My email address is below too. So just... make yourself at home. Just, it's almost like this community, it's growing so fast, and I'm so grateful. Okay, let's start your reading. All right, so you start January and move in the entire month of January, really, in a place of aspiration for a fire. All right, can you guys see that? Now, fire is, it symbolizes strength and intuition, inspiration, expansion. It's almost like launching new ideas. And 4 is the number of stability and consistency. So I feel like you guys are very stable within the goals and the ideas and the projects that you've been working on and that you're trying to launch. It looks like January is when you get motivated. Now, but I'm talking more than just a New Year's resolution. I mean, come on, man. This guy is climbing that rock, and he's like halfway up there. He's motivated. This is just not a New Year's resolution that you forget about in 12 days. This is something strong. This is expansion. Excuse me, and it's consistent expansion, all right? It's reliability, it's structure. That number 4, I mean, put that number 4 with fire, that's like stable expansion. This idea isn't going anywhere. You're going to be working on this and making this happen through the entire month of January, all right? And we talked about fire being expansion, and it's one of those elements that can burn everything you love, or create beauty, and it can it can cook your food, or it can cook you, right? It can keep you warm, or it can burn you. I mean, it can destroy a house. You guys get the picture. It depends on how it's used, but in this sense, next to that number 4, it's consistent expansion with this idea, consistent expansion with what you're trying to do. You're finally climbing. It's not just about wanting something, right? But it's actually about making it happen. Now, fire is an intuitive element. It is. And so I'm not surprised that the next card you have is intuition. It's the 6 of air. Let me just make sure you guys can see that. And 6, anytime you see the number 6, it's going to be harmonious, all right? It's a harmonious outcome. It means union, harmony, truth, reliability, right? And so I feel like you guys in February come to depend on your intuition more than you have before. I feel like, before this year, you guys, a lot of you had really gone through this process where you were always getting the short end of the stick. And it was almost like, can I catch a fucking break, right? But I feel like it was because you guys always had to know all the answers before you started, or you had to have the perfect plan before you started. And what that did is it just postponed you, and you never moved in the way you could, right? Because you didn't want to fail. So I feel like you guys are relying less on logic in February, relying less on, and even in January, because, fire is intuitive too. But this is like harmonious union. So I feel like those of you who needed like some sort of partner to make that idea happen, that comes to fruition. Or those of you who needed the support of a spouse who wasn't being supportive before, that comes to fruition. I feel like this is about listening to that inner voice. There is the woman, and she's in the middle of those sheep. Now, she's not hurting the sheep. She is not trying to be their shepherd. She is not, trying to, it's almost like they're just existing with her. She's not trying to do it. She's just being herself. And by being herself, her sheep flock to her energy. All right. And I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen. People are going to see your aspiration in January. They're going to see that expansion. They're going to see that consistency, and they're going to hop on board. They're going to hop on board, and they're going to believe you. And then look, in March, you have balance, the 8 of water. All right. And 8, anytime that you see an 8, that means movement, action, chance, rebirth, power, right? Power that springs from within. It's not just any action. It's this power action that springs from within. Now, I feel like it's a continuation of this from January. I do. And I feel like that's why you have balance. 8 is eternity, right? We're all eternal. We're just like here visiting and learning, but we're all eternal, and you connect with that part of you. That part of you continues to grow. This part, who you were in January is still going, and you're still moving. And I feel like you find balance. Now, the water element, if you can move with the current, you're good, right? But if you're trying to swim against the current, you're just going to tire yourself out. You're not going to get anywhere, right? And I feel like before you guys were kind of swimming against the current, but now you have balance and you're swimming with the current. So it's like, it's easier, right? Things happen easier for you, and things are coming more easier for you, and your relationships are getting better. You're not so stressed out, right? You're not so stressed out. You're not sitting in traffic as long. You're not having to argue your point with people. Do you understand? It's almost like you're coming from this place where you just are. You just exist. You're just happy. You just know. You don't have to, if somebody thinks a certain way or they're wrong, back in the day, you'd call them out on it a little bit, right? In a way. Or even if you didn't call them out, you would kind of let it sit in your mind and fester. But not anymore. Not anymore. Not in March of 2017. You come into a place of balance. Now, your next card for April is Ace of Fire, Spirit. Ace is about beginnings. Fire is about expansion. Again, expansion, strength, intuition. And I feel like because it was right underneath, I do the cards 3, 3, 3, 3. And this card, Ace of Fire, Spirit, it was right under the aspiration card. So it was like holding it up, right? So your spirit, right? Your spirit is now completely holding up that aspiration, holding up that motivation, holding up that vision. All right? And because of that, in May, you get your gift. You reap reward. You see the fruits of your labor. The earth sign is about material things. So this is a material gift. This is money. This is compensation. This is acknowledgement. This is reward. This is getting money for your hard work, right? What you started in January, and some of you could have started it before, but it really didn't take off until January. This is compensation for that. All right, you're finally getting it. You're finally getting it. And now that you've been, using your intuition, it's almost like you guys thought you were always getting the short end of the stick, and you really were, but it was just because you relied too much on logic and you relied too much on a plan. All right, now that you're moving from that and you're kind of with your intuition and supported by spirit because you finally started listening, right? That voice got louder. You were able to manifest manifest what you wanted. You got your gift. Your next card is ecstasy. 10 of fire. 10 is the number of completion. Fire is the same sign that you started with. The expansion, the aspiration, the idea, the launch, right? Supported by spirit, right on top of spirit, right? That it was right on top of the spirit card. So this was holding it up. And so that energy, that goal, that thing that you were doing is completed. You finally learned to use your intuition instead of rely so much on logic. And it is time to celebrate. Ecstasy. You feel elated. It's almost like, man, I've been struggling with something for so long and I never knew why it wasn't working. And it wasn't working because I was trying to be too right. If you wait until everything is perfect, you're never going to start, ever, because nothing's ever perfect, right? But you guys, you break free from that. And in July, you have the 9 of Earth, sanctuary. So I feel like you're in a comfortable place. You've created a sanctuary for yourself. Earth is about the material realm. 9 is the number of manifestation. Sanctuary is where you feel complete. Maybe before you were using a table as a desk, and now you actually have an office. Or maybe before you were using the bus, and wow, now you've actually got yourself a car. This is about being comfortable, but being not like an overly material. Oh, I'm comfortable. This is like wow, I finally have what I need. You have your resources, right? The first 6 months, you really didn't have resources. You had to be resourceful, but because of that resourcefulness, resources came. The gift. Resources came, you were elated. Do you understand? And this is you in a place of sanctuary with your resources, knowing that everything's going to be okay. Knowing that you have a lot more power than you thought you did, all right? Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, in July, you have the Star card. Think about the star. It does mean harmony and transformation. It means be open to new ideas. It's you discovering a new way of yourself or a new side of yourself. Now think about stars though. Back, before we had the Weather Channel, and in the people that came before us, they really relied on stars to find their way and to know when to plant crops, and they just they relied on all the stars to stay alive and to make their way of life more convenient, right? And they would find their way around. But now people are so distracted, we kind of just forget about this. We forget about the stars. We have the Weather Channel, right? We don't have to study stars. But I feel like you guys remove yourself from what was distracting you and what kept you from whatever kept you from rediscovering that higher version of yourself. You guys detach from those distractions and you become the star, right? And the star, because it helps you find your way and it guides you and it transforms you, right? You become the Empress. The Empress is abundance, beauty, fertility. She is the mother card. Now, I feel like a lot of you, the ones, I'm getting there's a few different scenarios here. Okay, so for some of you, and they all do represent, you finding your way from the star card. So I feel like some of you are mothers or like now that you have more resources and you finally found your way, you can be a better mother. You can be a better nurturer. You can be a better wife. I feel like things don't feel so difficult or impossible anymore, and that kind of relieves some stress, and you're just better able to enjoy your children or enjoy who you are, that motherly figure too. Also, the Empress is a card of fertility. So I feel like those of you who are waiting until things got better to get pregnant, this is a good sign for that. Now, I also, and then there's some of you that that are becoming okay with yourselves. And by that I mean, look, in the background of this card, there is a tiger, which is a land animal, and then there's a bird up here, which is an air animal. And animals represent our habitual patterns, right? Our habitual behaviors, or our habits, our habitual patterns. And so she's okay, with those animals behind her, and she's at peace, and she's abundant, and she feels in harmony with herself. So I feel like you guys come to a place in September where you feel okay with parts of yourself that you didn't feel okay with before. And that's what this card means. Yeah, you guys are really kind of accepting yourself as you are, and you're working more on your goals than you are trying to be this version of yourself that everybody's going to admire. You actually just kind of focus on your goals, and you listen to your intuition, and you just end up and then people just end up admiring you because you are on the path that you're supposed to be on anyway, spiritually, right? When you can be who you're supposed to be from a spiritual standpoint, right? Everybody around you benefits. When you can connect to the light, everybody around you benefits. But when you pour from an empty cup, you're just sharing emptiness, and it'll never be enough. But this card symbolizes that you have enough, and you're okay. You're okay with parts of yourself that you weren't okay with before. That's amazing. Wow. Okay, October, Master of Water, devotion. Water, we talk about relationships, right? And this is, it's like a waterfall, and he's standing underneath it, and he is okay with it. This talks about being in control of your emotions. And we talked about the other card, having harmony with the balance, the 8 of water, having harmony with your relationships and having harmony with your emotions. But harmony is okay, but mastering that side of you that took things too personal, mastering that side of you that overthought too much, that's something different, right? And you guys become master of your emotions, and you manage them better. You're no longer judging everything you see. You're no longer, it's almost like you don't have to. It's almost like, okay, they can do them, and I'm busy doing me. You guys were so hard on other people, and you judged other people because that's what you did to yourself. But in this sense, in October, it's almost like you become the person who's in a place where you don't have to defend your point of view, not even in your head. You know what I mean? You are what you are, and you're just so happy that you found this part of yourself that you couldn't imagine living any other way. All right? Now, your next card. This is November, and this is decay, and it's the 5 of earth. However, normally, if this card was by itself, it would be a negative card because 5 symbolizes struggle, lack, money problems, difficulty. In earth, it's the material realm, right? Decay, like things are dying, you're not taking care of things are being neglected. However, I don't feel like this is what that means for this reading. And the reason is because remember how I have them laid out 3, 3, 3 through 3. I'm going to pull this down so you can see a little bit. This is the star card, right? So it was this here. This is the star card, and this card not only is it's next to devotion, but it's under the star card. So it's like looking up at the star. And then on the other side of it is joy, 3 of fire, right? So and let's talk about this card, and then I'll tell you why decay is not negative. So 3, creation, fire, expansion, strength, intuition, creating joy, right? And here's the point. Now remember, this decay card was right underneath the star and in between these. And this is why it cancels out and it's not negative. And I'm going to tell you what it means. When there's fire on, let's say right here, and we put water on it, what happens? It goes out, right? Or let's say something is wet and we apply heat to it. What happens? It dries up. It balances each other out. So what these three cards mean is that because you were able to master your emotions, and I'm not talking about be in harmony with your relationships with the people you care about, because of course, balance, 8 of water, in March, you were going to be in harmony, the people that you care about. It's almost like, okay, you find harmony there, you find harmony in your emotions, you find harmony in your relationships, you find harmony, in your work life and the people around you. But this means you find harmony, you master your emotions with other people as well. So you are, before there was like, you kind of had an intolerance of somebody that was ignorant, if you just couldn't tolerate it. You just couldn't, right? But now it's almost like if somebody has an opinion that is different than yours, it's like whatever. Even if it's absurd, you don't stop and judge it. Or if somebody says something to you, you don't overthink it. You don't feel attacked, and you just don't judge anymore. You just don't care. You're just okay. You're focusing on you, right? And you're just existing and focusing on you. And you are the master of your emotions. That means that you are not overthinking the things that other people are telling you. All right. And so the decay that was once going on, that's land and it's drying up, right? It's decaying. Nobody's taking care of it, right? But there's water, right? It's watered, it's being taken care of. Here's a man right here and he's got water. He's bringing it here, right? Because I feel like, and that creates joy. That creates expansion. That, expansion and creation. 3 is the number of creation. So you are creating more expansion by taking care of the piece of you that, that you really, really struggled with. This is what you struggled with before. It was decay. It was avoiding what you needed to take care of. And it was because you felt like you were justified. What you needed to take care of was not always taking things so damn personal. All right? And you take care of that. That was decaying. You weren't paying attention to it. You were just kind of, you just couldn't control your thoughts. And you overthought everything, and you were, hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst, so it wouldn't be a surprise. And that gets taken care of. And that's why it's in between the devotion card and the joy card, and it's right underneath the star card. You found your way, all right? You were guided. And because of that, you have the 3 of fire, joy, all right? Real joy. Like nobody is renting space in your mind for free joy. Do you understand? That's freedom. That's freedom. Wow. That reading. 2017 is going to be explosive. All right, let's do an oracle. Then we'll end. So what I'm going to do is, I'm asking the universe, all light beings, the energy, everything in existence, right? Like whatever attracts you to this video, whatever keeps the earth suspended in midair and keeps me from falling from it. That force that keeps the seasons in order and grows my nails and grows yours. Do you understand that light that we all feel, that intuitive voice? That from that place, I ask that the universe deliver the message that Virgo most needs to hear from the person or the light being that they most need to hear it from for 2017. Their year is amazing. But what else can you tell us? What do they need to know? Soul flame. It's talking about rediscover a lost part of yourself, experience relationship, harmony, and healing. And that's what your reading was about, right? That's what your reading was about. It was about rediscovering a lost part of yourself. We talked about the star guiding you to the Empress. Experience relationship, harmony, and healing. We talked about the relationship harmony in balance in March in the 8 of water, right? And then we talked about healing, that decay, right? That card that had held you back, that internal conflict, right? That taking things too personally, right? How that held you back. And you're able to heal. And because of the healing, you ended the year with joy. Virgo. And you know, this is getting published like on New Year's Eve. And I know some of you guys were like, where's my video? But I really didn't feel led to do it until today. And now I know why. Because I was meant to get the message that I got on the day that I got it, at the moment that I got it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you so, so, so much. And I don't even have to know you. I just have love, like just love. Make sure you check out the website. Go to the social media links. And I'm so happy for you. Enjoy your year. Enjoy your year. Enjoy your freedom. Bye, Virgo.